can you tell us a little bit about the mobile consumer? When we're going out and we're looking at mobile, is it business as usual? A lot of the people in the room probably are very used to buying online. When you're looking at buying for mobile, is it business as usual? Is it just an issue of just getting the right eyeballs to the right message?
Sure, very good question. I think for the mechanics of planning and buying are similar across most channels, especially for mobile and online. But I think there are probably two major differences that do set mobile aside from where online is. And probably the biggest one, or the one that causes the most difference in the planning and buying process, is the media owner landscape. It's as an ecosystem, mobile is still very much evolving. There are very few sites which have the scale that make it worth them for going out to be selling their own audience. Most of the buying is being done through the mobile ad networks like JumpTap, which I'm sure Perrin will tell you more about in a minute, and through some of the large portals. So the ability to do a buy and to reach scale within mobile tends to be a far more complex, far more labor-intensive process to reach an audience size that would anywhere approximate what you could find online. Probably the second biggest difference, and this, in my opinion, is the single biggest difference as to why we're seeing perhaps a growth curve that's slightly more flat than all of us would have anticipated, and that's the brand readiness issue. The majority of the brands, and I do believe it is still very much majority of brands, still don't have the ability to capitalize on the value post-click. There's putting media out there. That's the first part of the puzzle. But getting value after that click, after reviews was clicked on that banner and that text link, most brands just don't have the infrastructure in place they need to capitalize on that value.
Which is going to be very relevant in the next session, but we're going to be talking about how that integrates, which is a key to why you want to buy mobile, because it's either about the brand impression or it's about where it's going to take you and how it's going to engage with the rest of your buy, right?
Absolutely, and the value that can be gained from mobile these days is tremendous. CPMs are low, audience responsive rate is very, very high. So I think we are seeing a big rush for brands to get in place what they need to have in place to capture the value of this click. But still, in the majority of cases, that infrastructure, for lack of a better word, still is not yet in place.
Right. So I was supposed to intro this by talking about the state of the ad spend. We all know, and every conference we all go to talks about the fact that obviously reach is growing, frequency is growing. Mobile is here, and I think we can all attest the fact that the mobile consumer has arrived. To that end, we're going to be talking a little bit more detailed about how you actually engage with that consumer. So what I wanted to talk about, again, very rudimentary, basic questions, but what ad types are out there, and of those ad types, what works? So if I could throw this across to Cameron, we've got a few up there that actually come from your network, Cameron. If you could just talk about basic mobile banners, and from an audience perspective, what are they doing? How are they used effectively? And then we'll go into some of the other innovative ways that you can buy mobile in the next slide.
Sure. So for us at the Weather Channel, we're a little bit different to a lot of the other publishers because we are at scale on mobile. We're actually the largest mobile content site on mobile web, which gives us reach, gives us frequency, but it's also a combination with just the content category on mobile. It's a personal device. You take it with you everywhere. When you're out and about, on the go, one of the key things you want to know is what the weather is going to be like, how to act, dress, etc. So for us, for a few years we talked about, a few years ago, we talked about how mobile was different, all the benefits, all those things. We've really sort of changed our tune, honestly, in the last 12 months, and are really talking about how mobile's pretty much actually the same. Mobile's really not different. It's the same, as all the other platforms. We're doing a lot of integrated buys. We're trying to bring scale to the marketplace, both in audience and in, at the end of the day, it's all about selling things. We want to sell things for our clients. So for us, we've kept things fairly simple in order to make that cross-platform approach work. So, banners, we have expandable units on iPhone. We take advantage of all the capabilities of all the devices. And the first one here is our traditional mobile website, available on 500 plus sort of phones, from feature phones on up. The next two are our new, what we call Mobile Web 3.0. This is really just an internal name, so forget about that. But essentially what it's about is bridging the gap between the traditional web experience and the mobile web experience. So, on our existing mobile web, on the left-hand side there, you get the basic content from us. On our Mobile Web 3 for smartphones, you can personalize it. You can set your homepage to be whatever you want to start with your weather experience on. And obviously, the advertising is all contextualized. So the pollen page, it's got health-related information, et cetera. And that's sort of an example.
So here again, not from your particular network, but just to give some other examples of how you can buy a mobile as an ad unit. You've got in-app ads, you've got expandable ads. You have some indicators here of how you can use GPS and POI, point of interest.
And I think that's one of the key things. Like, one of the reasons a lot of you are here today is mobile appeals. I'm not going to talk about Starbucks because that's a horrible example in some regards, but it really appeals if you can, activate a consumer at the aisle in a grocery store to get a discount coupon or whatever the case may be. All of that's possible. But the key thing I want everybody to think about is it's really the same. It's the same as every other media. It's just a different place, and the place is wherever that user is.
Right. So then if it's in a different place, what works from a buy perspective? Should we focus more? I always like to say, I always like to shock audiences and say, mobile's dead. Long live the mobile consumer. And everybody goes, phew. Because sometimes we get so fixated on this thing called mobile, which tends to be scary for a lot of people. No matter how we like to say it's business as usual, it's something new, and new things are always a little bit intimidating. If you're following the consumer, which is really what you should be doing. If you're following the mobile consumer, what is working here? I mean, these examples, of course, not from you. These are Quattro examples. But in-app ads, expandable ads, and Perrin, please join in if you want. What is working, and is it depend on what the experience is of the consumer, what properties they're engaging with? What ad units perform the best?
That's a great question. So let me agree and disagree with the panel so far. I believe there are a lot of similarities between the mobile internet and the PC internet. However, there are a lot of dissimilarities. I call the mobile internet the internet on steroids. And why do I call it that? Well, I call it because obviously it's a very personal medium. It's geospecific, and because of the targeting capabilities. So if we take that and look at the medium by itself, do we really want to make the mobile internet the same as PC internet? Do we want to make it the same as email and really have this concept of just irrelevant advertising or spam advertising? I think the opportunity for the mobile internet and mobile advertising is not so much a fancy ad unit, which I believe is engaging and it has value. However, it's the concept of relevancy in building a value exchange with a consumer. So that if you're, for example, if you're flying to London and you get an ad for, let's say, a hotel in London, there's value to that ad as opposed to just seeing the Punch the Monkey ad, the Dancing Mortgage ad, or just the Buick ad to the 12-year-old kid in LA. So it's not so much the ad unit or the publisher, but it's the concept of relevancy. At JumpTap, that's our number one focus, right? Is building that value exchange between advertiser, consumer, and publisher, so everyone works in the ecosystem. And there's different ways to target, right? I think everyone always asks us, well, all the ad networks seem the same. You guys are all, kind of very similar. I would say there is a distinct difference. We're I think one of the few, or one of the only ones that actually has 17 carrier relationships. So there's targeting you can do via context. We actually get carrier data and we utilize that for real targeting. So when it comes to demographic targeting, we actually have real data versus inferred data. We get geographic data from our carrier partners. So very, very different in terms of the approach to building relevancy.